Hi, brother teacher here. What is loyalty? And do your friends and family have it towards you? Even more so, are you loyal? First of all, let's define the word loyal and loyalty. Loyal is when an individual, a person, is firmly devoted to another person, a purpose or a cause, even an institution, without condition. You're down for that person, institution, company, or people, or family, or friends. You're down for them, meaning that you are there for them. And however you can serve them, you will do just that unconditionally. So now, just a rough example. So now, do you have friends that are loyal to you, that are there for you no matter what the circumstances may be that might surface? Or are they two faced? Are they the type of individuals that when a situation gets too heated, they back away or they acquiesce? Do you have family members like that? Do you have friends like that? Let's use a rough example. Pretty common but rough, excuse me for this. Let's say you're walking down the street and you are a couple, man and woman, walking together, and a guy comes up and you are the man in the relationship, and the guy flirts with your wife or your girlfriend. Now, you're supposed to be in a relationship, a committed relationship. And so the guy's flirting with your girlfriend. That's okay. Sort of shrug it off. I mean, it's subtle, the flirtation. But what if he touched her? What would you do? Would you be loyal to her in that instance and be her protection and defense? Or would you cower and act as though it doesn't exist or it's okay? Let's say you are on your job, you're in the break room, and it's your lunchtime. You're in there with your fellow co-workers. And let's say you have some activist types of tendencies, talking about what's going on politically in the world, and you're expressing your views. But you have a supervisor or a manager that walks in hearing you discuss those views on your break. Once he or she walks in, you stop talking about your stance or your position on the political issue at hand or subject matter. Did you stop talking about it because you were afraid that it could impact you having a job the next day or maybe even the next hour? Or are you that firmly committed in what you believe in that no matter who's listening to you or what their opinion or viewpoint is of what you're saying, it doesn't matter as long as you are exercising your freedom of speech and you are respectful and not stepping on anyone's toes directly or harming someone else? Would you take that stance? So how loyal are you to your own beliefs and or convictions? Let's try this scenario. Let's say you are at home and you get a knock on your door, a loud rapping on the door. It's the police. They're looking for your mother, your father, your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, and they want to arrest them for some alleged criminal activity. And let's say they're in the house, the individual in your family that they're looking for, and they ask you, is so and so home? We have an arrest warrant for them. Would you openly say that they're home because you have a fear of repercussions from the police department, that is, if you don't comply? Would you? Even though they have a warrant, which means that they can come in and seize that individual. But would you really be willing to admit, oh, they're downstairs in the basement, they're in the backyard, they're in the den, the living room, the kitchen, what have you? Would you be so easily persuaded? Would you be so easily scared for self that you would turn your own mother in, your father, your child? Would you? Now, what if they were not home and they were somewhere else, but you knew where they were? Would you tell the cops, the police, oh, they're around the corner at my cousin's house? No, my son is right over at the playground 2 blocks from here. Would you do that? And if you did it, would it indicate that maybe you're not loyal to your family? You see, the human condition is really something else. How loyal are we to others? And how loyal are they to us? I contend that people are as loyal and as trustworthy as their options. For example, I've known guys, speaking in general when I say guys, this could cover women as well, but I don't like to call women guys. But let's just say men. I've known guys in time past. They'd see someone standing on the street, homeless. We might walk by. They go in their pocket. They'll pull out $2 or $3, hand it to the individual, stick their chest out, and they feel like they've done something, for society. But in my mind, I know this individual. I'm not talking about a very close friend. I'm just talking about associates, people I've been around before. I know that it's not sincere. It's disingenuous because I know the individual and their personality/character. Now, they handed that individual money at that particular point because they wanted to make an impression to me that they was concerned about their fellow man. Let them not have much money and see if they would have still done the same thing. They would have not. Remember the story of the widow's mite in the Bible, in Scripture? When it talked of all of the rich people in the church or the synagogue who were giving a portion to the temple by way of their income, their revenue, their money. They were giving a little of their wealth. They had much money, but they were only giving a portion for that cause, the temple, as it were. But there was a widow who had nothing but a few pennies, and it was all that she had. She gave everything that she had and had nothing left. No more wealth, no nothing. The scripture says that what she gave of all that she had was worth more than all of the other guys or people put together, because they gave of their much and she gave of all that she had. And I go back to the scenario or the situation of my friend. Now, when I go back to the example of my friend or associate giving the homeless man some money, he had plenty of money in his pocket. But he wanted me to believe that he was giving out of his heart and that he really meant what he was doing. But it was only for show. It was a false pretense. And had he not had much money, he would have not given him anything. Now, not to pat myself on the back, but I have given my last for causes before. I have given my last to help someone who I felt was less fortunate than myself. But because I'm vibrant, uh, intuitive, intelligent, knowing that I have the means and or the ability to provide some source of income for myself, I knew that I would get it back, maybe many times over, just by virtue of the law of attraction or karma, doing something good for my fellow man and not thinking anything about it. That's being loyal to myself, right? Being loyal to the universe, being honest. You see, no one makes you do anything. You don't have to give to someone else. But the scripture does also say that it's better to give than to receive. You have a greater blessing because you are denying yourself when you're giving to someone else, especially when you give to the point where it hurts you a little bit. I'll let you think about that for a moment. When it hurts you, what does that mean, hurt you? You see, most of us don't like pain. We don't like physical pain, and we don't like the pain of our own mind saying that I'm losing finances, I'm giving you something that's mine, you don't deserve it, I deserve it, it's all about me. You see, people who think like that will ultimately end up with nothing. I've said before and I say again, you know, we can't take anything with us to the grave. And what you do for yourself, you take to the grave with you. And what you do for others, you leave behind. It's not just finances. It's just not material things, because those things fade away. We're talking about the lessons of life. Those things that can catapult, in some instances, some people's lives. Just that pure knowledge. How do I navigate in the world in which I live? Can you teach me that? Those types of things is what you should share. Your wisdom, your knowledge, your experiences in life, how you made it through. Those are the lessons that you should be teaching your children, your grandchildren, your family. Not how to keep everything to yourself. How to be stingy and selfish. Seems as though maybe I have crossed over a couple of similar subjects under one subject or topic. But it's much necessary. The question still is, how loyal are you? You see, you've ever had a friend that you tell them that I need you to be here at 5 o'clock today. And they say, okay, I'll be there. It's 5:15. You're anxious and you're anticipating them to be there at 5. It's 5 minutes to 5. They're not even early. Now it's 5 o'clock straight up. Didn't show up yet. 10 minutes after 5. You're a little concerned. Maybe they got caught up in traffic. And now it's 5:30. That's a substantial amount of time that you had to wait past the time that you asked them to be there. And they said they would be there. Oh no, now it's 6 o'clock. Maybe they had a car incident. So you call and check. They don't answer their phone. It's 6:30. Next thing you know, 2 hours have passed again. It's 8:30. So your appointment, whatever it was you had to do, you found another way to accomplish it, or you had to reschedule. The next day, you called them, still no answer. The next day, now we're on the third day, you happen to bump into them at the grocery store. And in gracious fashion, you say, hey, how you doing? What happened to you the other day? Oh, I forgot. I got caught up doing something and I thought about it was too late. Ever met anyone like this? Have you ever known anyone like this? Those are people that you should stay away from. Especially when their behavior is perpetual. they continue this behavior all of the time. If they burned you once, okay. If they burned you twice and you depended on them for something, a third time, leave it alone. It's over. Never, ever trust them again. You know why? That's very much a part of their character. That's who they are. Even if they're family. It doesn't mean that you can't love them, because you should love them, family or friends. But depending upon them to do something for you when you really needed them to do something, and they say they're going to do it and they don't show up, it means that they are living a reckless life and they really don't understand life yet. So that's an individual that's not loyal. How many how many times will you allow yourself to be burned by someone like that? Yet we do it all of the time. We just keep on believing that maybe next time they're going to be there on time for me. Maybe next time they'll come through. Stop doing it. Don't continue to put yourself through this anguish and this punishment psychologically. So, my question to you before I leave, after I ask you the first question as I did before, do you have friends and family that are loyal? And just how loyal are they? And the other question, conversely, is, are you loyal? Or are you and your friends and family as loyal as your options? If it involves you benefiting or them benefiting, everybody's in on that. But if no one is going to reap any benefits from it, whatever the case is, they just may not be loyal. Think about that for a moment. You know, this is me, just in general. And I stand on this. If you, hypothetically speaking, anyone out there that I'm talking to, place yourself in this scenario with me. If you ask me for $50 and you say you needed $50, and I, Reginald, brother teacher, told you, I've got you, I'll give you the $50, and you look at me and you say, because you've been burned before, you say, are you sure you can do it? And I look at you, I say, yes, I can do it and I will. And you say, well, I need it on such and such a day. Okay, I'm going to come and give you the $50. That's me. Let's say something happened and I needed the $50 between the time that you asked me and the time that you needed it. Let's say I needed $50. I've already made the commitment to you to give you the $50. You know what I would do? I would take that $50 that I need from somewhere else and replace it later and fulfill the commitment that I made with you, because that's my word. That's loyalty. Keeping your word and not making an excuse. You see, people make excuses all day long. Sometimes being loyal, and oftentimes being loyal, involves a sacrifice of one's self for the betterment and the good of someone else. It's really that simple. Brother teacher here. See you next time. So long.